Hello and welcome to the Off the Crossbar end of season Premier League grading with myself, Regan Walsh, and as always, Brad. How are you doing, lad?
I'm prepared to cause controversy. I'm
Yeah,
feeling in one of them moods.
nothing better than us two causing controversy, as people may have realised with my team of the season picks the other day when I put Patrick Bamford.
Genuinely, we did that before the England squad reveal, and I now think you actually may be in the majority agreeing that
See?
he actually should be there. I'm in the minority now. I'm the bad one here.
Exactly. Yeah,
How
so
has
what
this
we
happened?
I have no idea. So what we're doing here is we'll go through each club, we'll give them each a grade, and we'll have a little talk on how their season done, and that is for all 20 clubs in the Premier League for this past season, the 2020-21 season. And
Can I grade the whole season? Because I give this whole season an A for, content.
yeah, I mean, we've always had talking points on the podcast throughout the season. There was obviously the malarkey of the Super League as well. Mourinho got sacked. United got spanked 6-1. Liverpool lost 7-2. Jurgen Klopp came up with 1,000,001 excuses. Jesus, what a season it was. But yeah, I agree.
And the Villa got good.
Yeah. Still shouldn't have been up there though.
Yeah, just because we're coming bigger European places next season.
Right, we'll start off and we're going to do this in alphabetical order. Arsenal.
Oh,
What
no
grade are you
better
giving
place
them?
to start it. Oh, do I have to start?
Yes.
You're throwing me in the deep end straight away.
Okay, well,
I give Arsenal the D.
it's a bit weird.
Bit weird, they deserve a D.
Plus, minus, or just a straight D?
Yeah, straight Ds. No plus or minuses in my book.
Okay, well,
Not my system. This is the English GCSE grading system.
You could get plus and minuses in the
When were you
GCSEs.
ever given a plus or a minus?
No, but you did used to be able to. Yeah, I have to agree. D for Arsenal. It's woeful season for them. I mean, everyone's saying, "Oh, give Mikel Arteta a full season, and they'll do well." They still finished 8th. Aubameyang, Lacazette were really bad this season.
Could you say we put this back down to expectation? Like, everyone had them as top 4 contenders.
I didn't.
Did you not? Because I vaguely remember that I did. Like, it was pretty... everyone saw the FA
I had
Cup
them
run
finishing
for...
5th.
Well, not too far off though, is it?
No, but still not top 4.
Like, everyone saw the FA Cup run and just went, oh, maybe there'll be something this season. But no.
Yeah, they just left that all back at last season and were just poor. I mean, bright sparks for that team this season, you got to say Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe, Kieran Tierney.
So there's something else I have to do. You deserve an F just for saying Bukayo Saka's name wrong all season.
Why?
He's not Sacco. He's Saka.
Did I say Sacco then?
You've been saying Sacco the majority of this season. And
Sorry.
I've just left you to drown until now.
Well, Bukayo Saka then. Yeah, they're the few bright spots in this Arsenal team.
On that man's name.
Shut up. They're the bright sparks of this Arsenal team. They look poor. I mean, this is transfer business wise. Martin Odegaard came in on loan, looked all right for the first part. Then I think he just came into like an Arsenal team. Danny Ceballos as well on loan. Didn't have much of an impact as he did in his first season, I've got to say.
No, literally the only signing you could almost say had any sort of bright spark was Odegaard.
Yeah.
But even he wasn't. Like, he didn't light it up.
No. Matt Ryan, they brought in, didn't do anything.
Willian didn't do anything.
Willian was...
Unless he was playing Fulham or West Brom.
He was the worst signing they've made in years. And who else? Thomas Partey looked all right in the first 2 games and then just disappeared. I think he went back to Madrid after that because he was quiet the rest of the season.
I'm pretty sure he's still Arsenal.
Yeah, and also an F for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's hair.
No, that is a U. It left the building.
Yeah, that was awful.
Sure, you go to a club we could be a bit nicer towards that.
Yep, Aston Villa.
Dean Smith's boys, or as we call them, Dino's tricky villains.
I mean, we don't call them that. You call them that.
I will call them anything I want to call them because they've had an astonishing season. Despite the tail off, I give them a B.
Yeah, I was fully agreeing with that. I was going to go with the B for them. Great season. Emi Martinez, standout player. Jack Grealish as well. And considering where they finished the 2019-20 season, just about staying up to this season, finishing in 11th place. Yes, there's a bit of curtailment towards the end, obviously with Grealish getting injured, but I had Villa finishing nowhere near this at all last season. I mean, I predicted at the start of the season that they would finish 19th, so they massively proved me wrong, and yeah, they looked a really good side this year. Like, night and day compared to last season.
We proved the country wrong, so we'll have your apologies in the post.
I don't.
Yeah, I can't complain. If we didn't have that second half of the season tail off, basically, we don't catch COVID. I'm rating us an A all day long.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you got a top 8 finish, I think everyone would give you an A. Well, I think, because like you said, there's curtailment the last quarter of the season, that's why it drops down to a B.
Yeah, I can't complain too much.
On to Brighton and Hove Albion now. The Seagulls finished in 16th place after a tricky start to the season. For me, I'm going to give them a C grade. In the end, not too overly impressive, not under impressive. I think what many expected for the Seagulls.
How interesting. We are just matching each other. This whole thing. I'll also give them a healthy C. They were relegation battlers for the first half of the season. They turned it around. They've been entertaining to watch as well, even if it does take them about 500 shots before they score.
And that's not an exaggeration either. I mean, I think their one game this season they had like 45 shots. I don't think
that was in one game. That was in one game.
It might have been in 2 games.
Were they literally on FIFA playing on amateur difficulty?
I think they were. Yeah, but if you remember the Crystal Palace game, the second game against Palace, they had so many fucking shots.
I remember the West Brom one. That's the one that comes to mind me.
But yeah, Graham Potter's side, I mean, I just looked at my prediction from earlier on this season, and I called it bang on 16th place for them, so not too decisive there. It'll be interesting to see summer business-wise whether they can keep hold of Yves Bissouma, who's obviously been linked with a move to one of the top 10 sides, mainly Arsenal and Liverpool. Neil Maupay, does he stay or does he head over to France again? It'll be very interesting to see what happens down on the south coast for Brighton next season. Right, on to the next team, and that is of course Burnley, if I am correct. Yeah, Sean Dyche's side, again, not the best of seasons, finished 17th place. I had them finishing as high as 12th. A poor season, and I think I'm going to have to give them a D for my overall thinking of them this season.
My, we have disagreed for the first time.
Jesus.
Because maybe I've been generous actually thinking about it, but I've gone with a C. But this is the expectation. It's been their worst season under him for a little while. Maybe there is a case for a D. But I still think there were the positive signs that they did well to survive in my spirit. If they're one more better team than them, they're down.
Yeah. That's why Go on, I'll let you finish.
They've still got, what did they finish on? Like 30 something.
39 points.
30. Okay, that's not bad. See, that's still a good point tally for a team finishing 17th.
Yeah, but it's.
Maybe I'm generous.
I just.
Oh, Barner.
For me, they were just really poor, and there was quite a lot of the time this season you thought, are they going to score or do anything? They just. And for Burnley, I know they're not always going to light up the league, but it's just it was disappointing for them, I thought. And
Maybe I just didn't want Sean Dyche to get on my bad side.
Well, true. But yeah,
I said that wrong, didn't I? I don't want to get on the bad side of Sean Dyche.
I know what you meant.
You don't want to get on my bad side either.
Standout player for them. You got to say probably Chris Wood was their best player this season.
Yeah, the New Zealand boy.
Apart from that, everyone else was
You're expecting
really poor. I'm glad we didn't. And obviously, Nick Pope got injured as well, so I don't know what I'm expecting of Burnley next season. I wouldn't be surprised if they're down there again and involved in a relegation strike.
I think they're worse than that's what they'd better be hoping.
Maybe the three promoted sides next season will be worse than them, but again, I just think they're going to struggle. And it wouldn't surprise me if Sean Dyche gets the sack at some point next season.
Oh, that's bold.
On to Chelsea now.
Tough.
I think first half of the season, you'd give them a D.
Yes.
But I think this second half of the season under Thomas Tuchel rises it up to a C for me.
See, I've been way more generous. I've given them a B.
Wow.
I think that rise, where they were, is just too good.
Yeah.
They've lost one game. There's West Brom, the 5-2.
No, they lost 3 games. The final day, Arsenal 1-0, and West Brom.
How dare I forget that one?
How does that say? How have you forgotten them games?
Oh, I don't know. Just that Albion one was so in my head that I just...
Yeah.
I still think Chelsea done enough. They got top 4 in the end. If they didn't get top 4, it's the C.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I'm not giving them a B, because I don't think it was mainly their luck. Goodness towards the end. I think it was Leicester falling off as to why they got top 4. So that's why I can only give them a C. If they were a bit more convincing and Werner actually stayed on side this season.
What you do that, man? This. I'll give him an up for offside.
Yeah. Signings of the season for Chelsea. I wouldn't say there's many. Well, Mendy, you'd say, is up there.
Probably the standout.
Yeah, Thiago Silva had a decent season, and then Havertz, Ziyech, and Werner struggled.
That's Ziyech didn't do too bad. That's why it'll look badly on him, but I still think he did his bit.
Yeah, and again, I think they're going to strengthen quite a bit in this upcoming summer to put a right title challenge next season under Thomas Tuchel, given he gets a full season in charge. Crystal Palace next. Roy Hodgson's final season it turned out to be for Palace. Again, for me, it's a C. They're exactly where I expected them to be, like between 12th to 15th.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Yeah. I also give them a C.
I had them finishing 13th, looking at my pre-season prediction, so 1 place off. It's not too bad. Rebic Eze looks a really good signing for them.
Yeah, that's if there's one player I didn't want to see get a long-term injury, it's him. That's horrendous.
Again,
I hate you, world.
Yeah. Benteke started to come good towards the end of the season.
Best striker in the league.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't make that many signings.
He literally just made nothing of what I've just said.
Yeah, because I'm not. He didn't even register in my brain what you said. It was that stupid.
Yeah, Benteke the striker. Wait, what?
I'm not even registering that because it was that silly of a point. But yeah, they didn't make that many signings this season. So yeah, for me, they're exactly like I said where I expected them to be. No idea who the new manager is going to be. There's obviously been a lot of talk of Frank Lampard going there, but whether he does interesting, I think the more it goes on, the less likely it seems. But yeah, Palace are where Palace are, as expected by many people, I think.
That would be a very intriguing summer for them.
Next is Everton under Carlo Ancelotti.
This will be interesting.
Start of the season, I would say an A, but then how they ended the season, I think it's a very low C, if not a D, for how they fell off.
You'd even try and go as low as a D.
Yeah.
So you're writing that as a C, but you were very close to a D.
Yeah.
So I think it is a more comfortable C. Or if it wasn't as bad, I'd have given them a B. Because they are where you'd think they would be, like lower top half. But that tail off was
the very last.
Because that lower, just complete drop from where they were was not good.
No, they never seemed to get a good run together after.
Not exactly Magnifico, was it?
No. Players of the season there.
With Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, Calvert-Lewin had a standout season for them.
Here's a question: was it a successful season for James? I'll say no.
No, I mean he got 10 assists in 23 games. 10 goal involvements in 23 games, not 10 assists. He got 4 assists, 6 goals in 23 games. He started off looking really good, and I think
he was literally
believing the hype, but then he just died down after that.
He was literally their key man behind Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah. Opening 5-6 games this season.
Richarlison was in form as well.
Yeah. And I think for me that second half of the season, that's why it's as low as a C and possibly bordering on a D, because they were so poor.
Should we go for one that we know for a fact that we won't be disagreeing on?
Fulham.
It's a measure of how low do we measure them. Okay.
I mean, they finished 18th. They put up a bit of a fight at times, but yeah, F, I think.
Ooh, I'm slightly generous. I'll give them an A. Like you said, they put up a fight, but obviously in the end it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it just wasn't.
They did tail off very badly. So yeah, you deserve your A. Enjoy the championship.
Yep. The signings they made: Alphonse Areola, Joachim Andersen was one, Anthony Robinson, Mario Lemina, Loftus-Cheek came in, Ademola Lookman came in, Josh Maja came in as well. None of them really performed that well, did they?
I mean, Joachim Andersen sort of got a bit of limelight, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be grumbling for any of their players other than Anderson, maybe. Maybe Lookman. Yeah. But only as backup.
I mean, looking back at my prediction, I had them finishing dead bottom, so to see them go down.
No, there was that for a long time where it looked like it was going to happen.
Yeah. Next up is Leeds United.
Oh dear.
What have you given Leeds? Yes.
I've given them a B.
Okay.
See, I can be nice to them. No, literally, anything less than a B would be an insult to how very good they've been this season.
Yeah, I think I have to agree. It's a B from me as well. But I think the only reason they don't get an A is because at times their defence was really poor.
Yeah, that first half of the season when they were just a bit all over the place and just conceded left, right, and centre, just stopped it.
Yeah, but apart from that, after a while, Bielsa just got that squad playing really well, and to have a top half finishing your first season in the Premier League is incredible, and they proved many people, including myself, wrong, because I had Leeds going back down as well, finishing 18th, so yeah, they definitely proved me wrong.
See, direct your abuse to him, he hates you more than I do. Just... I don't know, I've not even received any abuse. I'm just preparing for it.
Yep. Player of the season, you got to say Patrick Bamford's up there for his incredible goal involvements and scoring.
It's not going to fall in. Like it's just...
Rafinha as well, he was incredible. Calvin Phillips and Jack Harrison as well. I think.
I'd say Harrison needs more recognition.
Yeah, I think they were all incredible players for Bielsa this season, and it's going to be a very good season for him next year. And I think if they can keep a lot of that squad together, don't be surprised to see him finish where they did next season as well.
Bielsa proved them all wrong.
Yeah. Leicester City next.
If only they got that top 4.
Yeah.
I'd have given them an A if they got it, but no, they don't deserve it. It's a B.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to go on Premier League alone because obviously...
Yeah, this is... Forget the FA Cup. This has no relevance.
Yeah. Spent more days in the top 4 than any other team this season. They looked really well put together, but there's just that last 4 or 5 games where they capitulated, and that's why it drops down to a B. Incredible players signing wise. I mean, Wesley Fofana, Tim Castagna, James Justin before he got injured. They were all really good signings, and obviously Vardy was playing really well this year as well. Schmeichel played well as well. So
Nacho stepped up.
Yeah. I mean, looking back on my pre-season predictions, I had them finishing in 9th place, so I don't know why I was expecting so much of a drop-off for Leicester there this season. I think it's because I was expecting the other teams who... Arsenal, who we've obviously spoken about, and others we will get onto in a minute or two, to do much better. But yeah, can't complain too much about Leicester. But yeah, that last month of football is where they drop off from an A and down into a B. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool.
This is where I can see us disagreeing. So I will start mine.
Okay.
Because of how they rescued it in the end, I've given them a B.
Yeah, I'm even agreeing with you. I think the first half of that season, the first half of that season, I probably would have given them a D, maybe even an F, and then that second half of the season, what Klopp did to get that team to finish 3rd in the Premier League, it's full plaudits, and that's why it's up to a B for me. I mean, Salah had another incredible year. The defence looked somewhat decent after a while. Alisson obviously scoring a goal which took everyone by surprise against West Brom. Milner doing what Milner does best. I think probably the disappointments out of that squad were, I think a lot of Liverpool fans were expecting more from Thiago, but I mean, you can't complain too much about his performances. And you got to say the other forward two of Mane and Firmino didn't live up to their last season as much.
Yeah, if people think that they should be graded a bit lower, they got what they aimed for, which is top 4, and they finished 3rd.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I had them finishing 2nd this season, so
it was a bumpy road, but they got there in the end.
Yeah. Next up is Manchester City.
We could literally say this at the same time.
Yeah, and obviously that is a
A.
Phenomenal season.
Yeah, that's it. Move on.
I mean, we've spoken about it on the end of the season awards the other day in the podcast. Diaz, excellent signing. De Bruyne played really well. Gundogan had them 2 incredible months also where no one looked like he could stop him. Yeah, it was just a great season for him.
Even John Stones looks alright.
Yeah, and the proper full emergence of Phil Foden as well, getting game time. I know I didn't give him Young Player of the Year, but it was incredible, and you can't take anything away from that Manchester City side finishing top of the table. Again, that was a prediction I called right. I had City winning the league this year.
Yeah. God forbid what we'll be saying about them next season, because the invincible run is coming.
Yeah. On to their Manchester rivals now, Manchester United. What do you give them for this season?
I'll give your club a very generous B. It would be very harsh if I said any lower.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I think it could have possibly been an A if they put up a decent title challenge to Manchester City this season, and
No.
their home form was better. But
Absolutely not.
It was really poor, and that's why I think again a B is fine. Improvements on the previous season, and they're starting to look good under Ollie. Again, I think they're missing a few players to make them that somewhat title challengers. So I think they'll be making some changes this coming summer. But yeah, I mean, you got to give them credit as well. 19 games unbeaten away from home in the league. Only the 4th time that's been done in Premier League history. So while it may not have been the prettiest at times, they got Champions League football and are slowly on the rise. And Solskjaer is the first manager since Ferguson retired to have 2 back-to-back top 4 finishes as well. So can't complain there.
I could put Bryce on Bruno FC as well, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal.
Without that guy, you're not top 4.
Oh no, I think we'd be like 7th, 8th, like round about Arsenal, Spurs this season without Bruno. We'll head across the north and we'll head to Newcastle now.
Away.
Away the tune. Newcastle.
Can I say I'm generous. I give them a C. You deserve high marks keeping that team up.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact same. They ended up finishing 12th, so a lot higher than many people would have probably said in the start of the season. I mean, I had them finishing 14th, so again, not too bad from me in terms of predicting it. But yeah, there was times where they just looked really bad early on in the season, but Bruce just seemed to turn it around somehow, and they got playing quite well and ended up finishing nearly mid-table, so you can't complain too much about that.
Yeah, Steve Bruce, as I said, football genius, masterminded the turnaround of the century as they were sleepwalking into the relegation battle, but then he remembered where his tactics board was, and they became unreal.
Yeah. Right, Sheffield United now.
Whoa.
Useless. Compared to last season, they don't deserve anything higher than a U.
Oh,
they were just woeful this season.
Absolute violation.
They won, what was it, 5, maybe 6 games all season? They were just dreadful for me. I mean, Chris Wilder ended up getting the sack as well from the club. They obviously have appointed a new manager in Sleckie Jokanovic, which you'll be able to hear more about on our podcast. But yeah, for me, such a massive drop-off from last season. I mean, looking at my predictions, I had them finishing 10th. Oh boy, how was I wrong?
Oh, I haven't even given my one yet. They could take some solace in that I've been more generous, because they still won more games than the Villa team that got relegated. So for that reason, they get an F. Well, you just implied they didn't turn up at all. But last time I checked, they beat Manchester United this season, so...
Didn't deserve to.
Oh, here we go again.
I've said it on the podcast
wrong video for that.
Yes. Southampton next. It's finished 15th. I had them finishing 11th. I think a little disappointing from them this season. But I'm still going to give them a C, I think.
They deserve a D all day long.
Wow.
They lost 9-0 for crying out loud.
Yes, but that happened the season before.
They were sleepwalking just as bad as Newcastle were, and they didn't really turn it around as well as them.
No, but I mean, they stayed up. I think the injury to Danny Ings really hurt them a lot this season, and yeah, I mean, it's what I expected of Southampton, and that's why I give them a C. I expected them to finish somewhere between 11th and 15th, and they did, so can't complain too much about them.
I expected mid-table, not 15th. That was just a disappointment season for me from them.
Fair enough. Coming down to the wire now, we head to North London and Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh dear.
Oh, Jesus.
We're going to disagree. I feel like we're going to disagree.
Well, I've got 4 grades for them, which is HA, as they were one of the laughing stocks of the league this season. My God, were they bad.
Only in the second half of the season. They were top, remember? In the first.
What, the first quarter of the season they were top?
Yeah. I've given them a C.
I've given them a D. For how bad that second half of the season went. I mean, if Harry Kane and Heung-min Son weren't there, Jesus Christ, where would they have finished this season?
Oh, they'd have been very low down.
Yeah. I mean, if Jose Mourinho can't fix this team, nobody on God's green earth can fix this team. Jesus wept.
There's only one guy who could fix this. The guy who it first failed for.
Yes, Mauricio Pochettino. Let's rehire him back. I mean, they could have got Europa League football this season, but they have to settle for the new Europa Conference League next season. Kane won't be there next season. They're just going to need a miracle next year. Otherwise, I see them finishing in the same place, or if not lower.
We saw how they spent over 100 million last time.
Well, yeah, I mean, Eric Lamella's the only one still being there.
Brace yourself for the return of Roberto Soldado.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, move on. West Midlands.
West Brom.
I don't even want to beat around the bush. They're getting in here.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, finished 19th. They were really bad for a lot of the season. I mean, they had some good players. Mateus Pereira played well. Sam Johnson had some good games, although they conceded the most goals in the league. I don't think a lot of that was down to him. Getting rid of Slaven Bilic as well. I think that was just a silly moment in the period of West Brom there. So
it's just funny that they did it after a 1-1 draw against Man City.
Oh yeah, that's what's made that even more ridiculous. Thinking about back to that now, but I mean, I think West Brom staying up this season, but yeah, I think
you're the only one.
Yeah, I was let down by them, and I think it was a very poor season from them. West Ham United next. I think.
Are we in agreement with this one? Because I've given them an A.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same. From where they were last season to where David Moyes got them this season, that has to be an A. I mean, yes, they didn't win the league, obviously, but it's a phenomenal turnaround for them.
Yeah, they were relegation bound last season, and everyone started this season saying they're going to be there as well. There were similarities between them and Villa.
Yeah, I mean, I had them finishing 17th this season and proving everyone wrong. Moyes, arguably manager of the season. Souček signing of the season, like we've said as well.
Oh, Man United missed out, didn't they?
They just played really well this season, and got to give credit to Moyes and that team. So yeah, I think an A is thoroughly deserved for them.
Yeah. Good luck in Europe.
Yeah, and the final team, Wolverhampton Wanderers.
The team whose downfall we predicted all season long.
Yep.
They get a D.
Yeah, nothing else. Nothing to lie about. Nothing high. They were a D. They were just really poor. Struggled to score goals this season.
Actual expectations of them this season as well. Yeah. After 2 top 7 finishes.
Yeah,
and they didn't even finish in the top 12.
Yeah, finished 13th.
Finished below Newcastle.
Same goal difference as Newcastle and same points, but they scored less goals than Newcastle. But yeah, it was just a disappointing season for Nuno Espirito Santo's side, who obviously Nuno has decided to leave after this season. Again, we said that for a while on the podcast that he would be leaving at the end of this season. So yeah, I think they're going to need a better summer this coming year than what they spent on their players last summer. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting summer for them.
Yeah, I don't have much to add with Wolves. I think there's just third season syndrome, we could call it that. But yeah, they rightfully expected more, and they didn't get it.
Yep. So that is our grading done for this season. Let's hope next season we have a closer title challenge and the relegation isn't decided as early as it was this year.
As well, and hopefully for the foreseeable future, that is the end of what I now call COVID ball.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, it's going to be great to see. I mean, we saw it the last 2 games of the season, fans back in, but next season, hopefully, stadium's full again, and I think that's going to change a lot of things with how teams play, because obviously everyone knows it's the 12th man effect, and yeah, it's going to be a good season next year. I can feel it.
Or as Manchester City call it, the average attendance.
I mean, I think this season was high attendance for them.
Oh God.
But yeah, I'm expecting a good season next year, and yeah, let's hopefully we're not proven wrong. Right, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you soon on our channel. Until then, it's goodbye from Brad.
See ya.
And goodbye from me. We'll see you soon.